Hi guys, happy Tuesday. Hello, welcome to Trading with the Pivots Queen. So I am a day late. It is actually Tuesday and not Monday. I had so many complications yesterday. I kind of just had to push back when I recorded this. So instead of analysis, this will be more like a market overview because most of my trades that I had for yesterday kind of played out. I did want to update you guys. I do have a Telegram chat now, so the Telegram will be linked below. So that way you could join the Telegram chat and you'll get all the updates. I actually did update them that I wasn't going to record yesterday, and I actually sent all of my charts for the week. It's about 12:30 right now, so I'm going to have alarms going off. The market's still moving, but I did want to overview last week really quickly, and then what I expect to see this week, and go over the charts that I sent yesterday. So I'm trying to make this a quick video. I don't want to dive in too long, but make sure you, well, first off, like this video, subscribe to my channel, then join my Telegram so that way you get all the updates, and you feel free to ask me questions, all that good stuff, so I could be a little bit more interactive with you guys. All right, so for this week, for the DXY, I think last week, I was waiting on this trend line break. I think price came to my bottom blue zone, which was my 38.2 fib, and bounced back up. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the DXY kind of reach my minus negative 27 up here. I'm just going to draw really quickly a new trend line, and yeah, if we break below this trend line, we could come back to this zone. And then if we respect this trend line, I would see it going up to that green zone. So pretty simple for the DXY this week. I'm gonna start off with NAS first because I know that's what a lot of you guys really want. And it's gonna be my messiest chart of all my charts because it's my main pair. All right, last week for NAS, I think we were here. What is today? The 10th? Yeah, so last week, I think I was waiting on the break of this trend line, if I'm not mistaken. I should have went back and watched the video from last week, but I think we were around here last week. I got into a couple buys until we got to this blue zone here, and then once we got to the blue zone, I just sold. I sold about 3 times. This is like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, maybe. Yeah, and then I had a bigger overall fib, so that's why I said this is like a little bit more complicated. But I fibbed this being my A to B, right? Price pulled back to my 618, and then it also broke very clearly above this black trend line that I had here. There's a lot of lines up here. I'm actually gonna leave that. All right, so I had a black trend line. This is like my 1 hour trend line. Price broke. Zoom in. See how clean that break is? It broke and retested, so I got in on the retest, and I carried it up to the next zone. Once price got into this green zone here, actually, I was done trading for the week once we got here, but someone in a Telegram asked me a question about what I thought NAS was going to do next, and in answering the question for them, I got another trade set up for myself. And it was just an either or. I was like, price can break above this zone and go to my next trend line, or it could break below this zone and sell down further. So I got into the sell. This was like 1 a.m. that day, and then this was open and build the next day, so that's why I had 2 entries. But I actually swung them down to 12,500 because I had a swing trade there from a really long time ago. But I caught a lot of pips just from that move in itself. That's about 9,000 pips. So I think I caught about 22,000 pips last week altogether from all my entries. So that was my quick overview. I think this was Friday of last week. So this was this week. So now we're on in this week. All right, so I sent out a chart. This was Monday morning, so I couldn't send this one. But this was Monday night, and I'm gonna switch over so you guys can actually see. All right, so here's my NAS chart. I'm looking to see if it's gonna break my trend line. So, you know, I sent the trade out like this. If price breaks above this trend line, buy to this green zone. If price breaks below this trend line, sell down to the -27. Right, so now we can see what ended up happening because I saved my charts. It broke above, so I bought up to my green zone. Then once we were at the green zone, I was already looking for sales based on my fib. So this was my A to B. It came to my 50 fib. Price showed me with these like wicks here, the exhaustion, and let me know, okay, we're really going to see some sales on this thing. So I got into a sell. I TP'd at this green zone, and I think I still have like 1 or 2 running to see if it breaks below this zone. I'm taking it to the 27, and then if it stays above, you know, I have my stop in profit, so I'll be good. But just from the trade that I got about last night, that was about, I think that was 1,900 pips, and then the pips from this morning from the sell was about 3,200 pips, right? So I'm really pretty much done for the week with NAS. I did want to go over that. I kind of keep it very simple with NAS, just trend lines and zones. So that is my NAS analysis. AUDUSD. Last week I had this trend line and I had divergence. I said wait for the break of this trend line, which we got, and buy it up to the green zone. And if it breaks above the green zone, which it did, take it up to this blue zone. So I got in a little AU trade last week from here to there, and then I drew a buyer's trend line, and I was waiting for it to break that trend line to get into sales. So for this week, I just drew a new trend line, and let me switch to my analysis really quick. So for AUDUSD, I was looking to see if it breaks this trend line. I really kind of wanted to break above the green box, buy it to the next zone. So we could see here, price kind of broke this trend line, but that's why I said I wanted it to break above the green box before taking it there. Now what I would do is I'm just going to readjust it a little bit. And probably make that my point. So I would still wait to see if it breaks above this trend line or this green zone, and I would buy it to the next green zone. So that's pretty much it for AUDJPY. Last week I wasn't looking to trade it because it was consolidating. This ended up being divergence on the 1 hour. So I didn't trade it until we broke above this purple zone, and I traded it to the blue zone. So that was a quick 63 pips. Then it broke this trend line in form, and it slowed on down. So for this week, the analysis that I sent out was wait for the break of the black trend line to look for short-term buys. So I was thinking price could do either or from here, like it could break this trend line above this green box, take it to this blue box, or it could come test this trend line and sell back down. So it looks like we tested the trend line and it came back down. I wouldn't be surprised if it like bounced up and came down again. So be cautious with this one. Wait till it breaks above this zone to get in for a quick buy. But overall, the setup is for sales. So that was EURUSD. Last week I said the break of this minor trend line, you could get in for buys and buy it up to this zone. What price broke that minor trend line, it consolidated a little bit. It didn't break below the last low, so that's where I put my TP. ended up bouncing up. It came, and with that bounce up, it broke this major trend line. It came and almost retested that trend line, so I got in for another entry, and I held it up to this blue zone. And then from here, I'm kind of not trading EURUSD until we break out of this consolidation that is in. It's been in this zone since the end of April. So I wanted to break out this zone before I look for more trades, but it's nothing wrong from like if it comes to this zone, sell it. If it comes back to this zone, buy it. As long as it's consolidating in this range, you can trade in it. Just be careful. Me, I'm just gonna stay away. All right, for GJ, I was saying last week to wait for the break of this trend line to get in. So I waited for the break of the trend line. I got in for a buy. I was looking to take it to the screen zone, maybe a little higher. I ended up TPing out. So that was, I ended up TPing out. This was 84, 85 pips. So I'm not mad at that move at all. Then this structure broke my major trend line. So what I did is I drew a fib, this being A to B, just drawing a fib on the structure that broke my trend. It came to, I think this was my 50. It came to my 50, so I got in for a sell, and that was 90 pips that I TP'd out at. It bounced back up to retest this trend line, retest this zone, and then ultimately sold down. So I could have got in for another sell, but I was happy with these two moves. And like I say all the time, NAS is my main pair. I don't really focus too much on Forex, but I do like marking it up for you guys so you can have some trades. All right, so for this week, let me go. GJ, this was the chart I sent. Price could break and retest this trend line to go up to this box here, or price could respect this trend line and sell down to this next zone. So that was the markup I sent in Telegram. I know this is in Discord, but I send everything in Telegram. Discord, that's to be announced. All right, so what ended up happening, price ended up respecting this trend line and selling down. I will wait to see if it's going to come to test the zone, and you probably can continue to sell it down. I will be careful with that one. Gold last week. All right, gold last week, we broke this trend line, which is what I was waiting on. But it came back down to the zone and also like retested this trend line, tested the zone. Once I saw 15-minute divergence, that's when I got in for the buy. And this was where my TP, it got really close. But I ended up drawing a fib once I started retracing. So this being my A, this being my B, price came to the 618. So I got in for a second entry and I TP'd at my minus 61. So I was really happy with my gold trades last week. Then we had some divergence on the 1 hour. So we definitely sold down. I did get into a tiny buy just to like this 50 level, and then price came to my 50, 61.8 zone on my fib. So price sold down to my minus 27, actually reached the minus 61.8. But let me go over the trade I sent yesterday. So gold just broke my minor trend line, so I could look and trade to my major trend line. So I have 1 hour divergence. We just broke the trend line, so I was looking to see if price is going to come to this trend line, but ultimately looking to see if it's going to come touch my minus 61.8. So now what ended up happening, we did buy up some, and if you got in like right after I sent it, that's not bad on gold at all. This morning I did send an update when I saw gold consolidating like this. I was like, it might not buy up how I thought it was. So I drew a minor trend line, and I was like, if price breaks below the last low, so which would have been here, go ahead and place your stop loss there. And it broke this minor trend line. Honestly, I could have said, sell from the minor trend line to the minus 61.8. But that's how gold ended up playing out, which was to be expected. So now that fib is finished out, if we happen to see any more divergence, then we could look for more buys to the top of this trend line, or to this trend line. However, if because we did break so cleanly below this low, we could see price come to this weekly or to the bottom of this channel that I have here. So hopefully all that made sense. So of all the pairs, NAS was my favorite one, but that's not a surprise because NAS is my favorite pair. If you can't handle trading indices, I advise don't start off trading NAS or trade NAS in a demo account. But really like follow my charts and my markups because they're always, not always, but always on point. So it's been fun. I will see all of you guys next week. Make sure you like this video, subscribe, and join my Telegram. It will be linked down below. And I will see all of you guys next week.